You hear me now?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the team at all.
We all know technology
Yeah,
sometimes
but you
never
still...
go as planned, but you hear me? I lost, not hearing you at all. You hear me? You hear me? So it's just you all not hearing me. Anybody else hearing me? Give me a thumbs up, please. So no one is hearing. So you're hearing me, right? Sir Henry, speak again, let me hear. Because they're hearing me. So you're having a challenge.
It's still breaking up.
All right, it's chipping out and chipping in.
Still breaking up. So I'm hearing you, but it's still breaking up a little bit.
Oh,
I see you better now. You hear?
I'm hearing
the
you.
connection. Oh, I'm hearing you now too. I went into the Wi-Fi same situation, so I know it's not my service.
Okay. And
I'm hearing you clearly now, though.
Okay, awesome.
I'm hearing you really well now.
Awesome. I'm hearing you too. So everybody's hearing now. All right, we have some people hearing. So, as I was saying, Sir Henry,
right.
How are some of the ways that we can mitigate these injuries, not have these injuries? Can we improve our form while lifting weight, improve our form in like doing household things, or for instance, the athlete world? I mean, how do that help with preventing these injuries, improving your form and stuff like that? Injury prevention. Tell me, how can we prevent injuries from happening to us?
All right. So specifically as it relates to exercise,
yeah,
form is one of the most critical areas to actually pay attention to, because when you are lifting incorrectly, then you are putting your body, your joints, your muscles in abnormal positions, right? So each joint is designed to receive load in a particular way, right? So the knee joint, I'm not sure if you can see my knees right now. Are you able to see my knees?
Yes.
Right. So the knee joint is designed for load to go through the center, right? All right, correct. So in instances like when we are squatting and our knees are caving in or ducking in, I'm sure you've seen a lot of these examples when you're giving person squats. When the knees duck in, then there is loading going across the knee and through the knee as well. But as I mentioned before, the knee is designed for loading to go through, right? So when the load is going across the knee, then you're stressing ligaments, you're overusing muscles, and over time, all of these structures that are overworked, right, and are being worked in a way that they shouldn't be working, they get injured. Other things to take note of is sleep, right? Recovery time. Persons underestimate the value of recovery time.
Important. That is very important. People, they don't.
Yeah, we know this. We know this, and I'm guilty of it at times. Right. But resting is just as important as training. Right? That happened to me, you and I. We are examples of this. Right? But we have to learn at some stage. Right? So paying attention to your sleep. When you don't sleep properly, your cortisol level goes up, your stress level goes up. right? Your focusing is also decreased. So you don't spend time observing when you're actually executing in proper form. So these things can also lead to injuries. Your diet, right? Ensuring that you're putting in the correct macro and micronutrients. I know this is more your field, right? I'm sort of segueing into your field as well. But again, recovery time and preparation before you're actually going into the exercise itself.
Warm up.
Right, so warm up, right? And being mindful of the type of warm up that you're actually doing as well. Because a lot of persons, they have this conception that you must stretch before you're doing every single exercise.
Exactly.
Right? But if you are doing static stretching before you go into explosive workouts, then you are actually putting your body at a disadvantage. Right? You are putting your body at a disadvantage because overstretched muscles have decreased power and explosiveness, and they respond slower to external stimuli, right? So you need to pay attention to the type of warm-ups that you're actually doing, and also post-workout, pay attention to actually warming down.
So since we're not supposed to do static
right, I'm not sure if I answered the question enough, or if you'd like to throw me some additional questions.
Suppose we're not supposed. So we're not supposed to do static stretching before our exercise. What do we do? What kind of stretching do we do?
Workout. Dynamic stretching, or you can warm your body by undergoing the lift, the same type of lift that you're going to do with minimal requirements of your body then. So for instance, you're going to squat.
Yes.
You're going to squat 100 reps for 100 pounds for your set. You can then warm up with a bar, right? So submaximal loading, which would then put your body, create the conditions for your body to be then able to execute your workout later on. So dynamic stretching, right? And doing the same type of exercise you're about to do, but doing it submaximally, right? So you are incremental warm up then.
So that means we can do static stretching after or activity.
Right. So post exercise, static stretching is recommended because it helps to one, clear away the lactic acid and the toxins that have developed in the muscle as a result of exercise, and two, it promotes relaxation, which is the state that you want your body to go into. Because relaxation is the first step before you can actually start to recover. So before exercise, dynamic warm up, and post exercise, static warm down. That's the principle.
So in terms of recovery also, right? Since we're on the topic of recovery,
right?
So do you think massage helps? How do you measure because people are afraid of massage. The people complain say it's too hot and oh my God, I can't manage this and it's painful. And could you shed some light on the importance of massage?
Right. So a lot of persons, they have this conception that massage, you must slightly just put your hand on the skin and kind of wipe it down. But for me, those are not effective, right? You have to influence that tissue and muscle with your hands using force, right? So for one, we are trying to move the fluid balance. So for instance, lactic acid has accumulated within the muscle. We are now trying to move it away from the limb and get it into central circulation, right? So moving it away from the arms and then moving it closer to the heart. So we have to physically exert some amount of pressure to move its fluid balance, right? Also, whenever persons do exercise, many times they develop what is known as muscular knots, right? Some people term it as spasm,
yes,
right? But these knots, they respond to sustained manual pressure, right? So you have to exert some amount of force on these knots to promote them to relax, right? So there is also a consequence of these knots. You see, these knots, they constrict the blood vessels, right? Knots are tight bands within the muscles. They constrict the blood vessels. And whenever they constrict the blood vessels, then there's an interruption in blood flow going into that muscle, right? One, you need blood for recovery, and two, you need blood for relaxation, right? So the presence of these knots can retard the recovery process. So by actually getting rid of these knots, we have re-established proper blood flow, which then allows for relaxation and helps to accelerate healing. The massage can greatly help to influence that.
But Sir Henry, you're talking about massage and you're talking about fixing this area and fixing that area. I mean, it sounds good, but I would want to know the cost for these sessions. Like, what is the cost like to see a patient to come to you, or it depends on the type of injury you have, or I mean, what into the process, the cost?
Alright, so for me, I won't speak for myself specifically alone, but I can give you a range that I've encountered as it relates to physiotherapy. So I've seen it as low as 3,500 per session, all the way up to 7,000, right? My cost is 5,000, and it doesn't matter the body part, the number of body parts, or the area that needs to be treated. I will look at you as a whole for one fee. One flat fee, right? So that is how I look at it. But it depends. There's a package for persons who I think I'll have to see more on a continuum. So for those persons, the cost will be reduced. But we can always discuss the price at another time.
All right. So I mean, I'll definitely be seeing a physiotherapist the next time I get in here. That's for sure. I'll be coming to Mr. Demoy Henry because, I mean, he's a man that sounds, he knows his work. I mean, so why not? One more thing though. Persons who would like to get in the field of physiotherapy, just tell them what it requires, one of the things that it requires to be to go in that line of expertise. Like, how did you find
from high school you would have to
yes.
I mean, you don't mean qualifications, you mean what exactly do you mean?
Like how do you find it? Is it interesting, or is it boring, or I mean, for other persons who say, okay, I want to do physiotherapy, I mean, how best would you advise them?
Yeah. Well, Prezi, I tell you what, it's for me, I believe that person must find their passion, right? Not because it looks glamorous and easy and persons are running around in the field and somebody get injured, they see a physio running out. You need to find your passion, right? Because I can tell you, in whatever area that you find yourself in, if you are not invested in it with love, it's gonna become difficult, right? And you may lose the joy or love for the profession. For me, I love it. You know, I like interacting with persons and influencing the bodies. I like to help persons to recover from injuries. You understand? I like to lead a holistic lifestyle, and I like to translate that to my clients as well. But I can tell you though, it's not always glamorous, right? There are occasions where I am emotionally and physically exhausted because my job, I am not only a gym instructor. You hear me? You know, I am not only a gym instructor, but I am also a counselor, right? So for me, a physiotherapist is a gym instructor and a counselor. That's how I look at it, because I believe that physio must be physical.
Yes.
Right. That is my point of view. So sometimes it's emotionally draining. So I'm encouraging persons, if it is that you are not in it for the love, You get me? If it's just for the like thing, I encourage you. It's not the field for you because it can be very very difficult. And studying the volume of information, it's a lot. And times are changing, so we're always having to read and trying to, garner more knowledge. So we have to be careful in that regard.
All right, Mr. Henry. So you heard from guys. Please, if you have any questions you want to ask Mr. Henry, you can write it in the comment section right there. But we'll be wrapping up shortly. So you've heard from Mr. Henry right there. He's your boss. As you can.
It's a boy.
I mean, you have been great, sir, and I want to tell you to continue doing the work that you're doing. I mean, without physiotherapists, I would have crazy injuries. Because I remember when I was competing with all you, sir, in the javelin.
Yes.
I mean, all the shoulder right here. I mean, it was a struggle.
I remember.
It was a struggle. And physiotherapists, they are the ones who help me to regain strength in the muscle and help me to regain mobility. So, I mean, I must congratulate you on the work that you are doing, and I want you to keep up doing the good work and vouching for all the athletes and all the persons who do personal training out there to keep on just educating them and keep on doing good work. I mean, it was a pleasure to have you on the live. I mean, we shall do this again. And people,
definitely
check out his page. It's right there. I mean, if you want anything to do with video, he's the man to go to. I mean, if you have any questions at all right there, you can just comment it right now. And we will wrap up in a minute. I mean, certainly.
Okay, so that's your question.
Any questions? Any questions I would like to ask?
Right, so the question. Yeah, so I see a question there. So with COVID, do you do telemedicine? Meaning, can I book virtual sessions with you and pay online? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I actually do virtual training, right? But in the scope of virtual training, that's how I do telemedicine. So I would screen the clients, determine if these clients require physical intervention or if these clients actually just require me instructing them as to how to better take care of themselves or to execute certain instructions that I have for them. So I have these clients that I actually do telemedicine for, and yes, we can pay online. I know this COVID situation has a lot of persons scared, but I mean, I still prefer to come to you. I can take my necessary precautions, wear my mask, I'll follow my sanitary routine. So no question, but yes, there is a telemedicine option as well.
All right. I'm not seeing the question on my end, but if you are seeing the question, so go ahead and answer.
Yeah, I'm seeing the question on my end. Okay.
All right. So, people, thank you very much for tuning into Prezzifitness Live. I mean, thank you very much, Sir Henry, for taking your time out in the busy schedule to be here. And just vibe with Prezzifitness and give us some valuable information to all the people that really need it. Because sometimes people want information, but then they don't know how to get it, or then getting it from other sources. It's a cost. You get me? So, thank you very, very much, sir.
Right.
And I mean, looking forward to doing more work with you. Oh, people,
yes, it was my absolute pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Next week we'll be having a dental surgeon on the live. I mean, Prezzifitness is not just about working out, feeling strong, all of that, but we are targeting the whole aspect of wellness and health. So next week, and you will see the poster, we will be having a dental surgeon to talk about, the mouth and how best we can deal with hygiene where that is concerned. So tune in, people. This is just the start of a lot of things to come. So every week For this month, we will have someone professional here, giving you insights, giving you information of your health and your wellness. So, sorry, Henry, somebody have a question about body alignment. Henry?
I lost it there, Prezi.
So, somebody had a question about body alignment before we go.
I lost it there.
You hear me now?
Repeat for me. Go ahead.
Someone had a question about body alignment. How do you tackle body alignment?
Yes. So somebody had a question about what?
Body alignment. How do you fix them?
Oh, body.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So okay. So is this person referring to techniques that a chiropractor does? Is that the question? Or is the person stating that they have an asymmetry with their body and they're wondering how they can actually regain symmetry?
All right. So
I know a lot of persons refer to body alignment as a cracking type of situation. So is it that what the person is referring to? Or are they talking about the fact that they...
What about body alignment? Aligning. Like how does that physio deal with that? Like if a person is out of shape, how do they fix that?
Okay, all right. So there are particular courses that have been offered to us this year. There was a course known as
Okay,
the techniques that we use are symmetry.
Yeah, symmetry.
Okay, all right. Okay, so there are a couple of things that could actually account for that, right? So the person could actually have certain muscles being tight and other muscles being weak, right? So a tight structure would pull you in that direction, and then a weak structure is unable to counterbalance you, right? So we'd have to evaluate the person, see if this is their limitation, right? So we'd have to stretch and strengthen, right? But stretch and strengthen particular structures. I hope I answered the question still.
That answers the question. That answers the question. So I mean,
okay.
As I would say again, Sir Henry, I thank you very, very much for being here on Prezzifitness Live. And I mean, you have given some valuable information again, I would say, and I am happy to have you here. Okay. The questions are
right.
and
before I go, King.
The questions just keep on coming in.
Oh, questions are coming in.
Okay, we're ending. We have 5 more minutes and then we end. Person said, how long is a session?
Okay.
You.
Well, a session with me is at least an hour, right? The only time I actually stick hard and fast at the time is if I have another client immediately.
What do you do in these sessions?
Right? But if it is that I have a session, I try and go as long as. Well, it depends on what's required. As I told you, some persons require strengthening, some persons require manual help, right? So it really depends on the condition and the client. So some of the techniques I may actually use my hands for massage as persons term it. I may actually do some techniques that manipulate the joints. I may manually stretch that person. I may utilize some modalities that I have, which whether it be from my heating lamp or my current. It really depends on the person and what's required at the time.
Right.
And the only way to determine that is through consultation or an assessment.
All right, sir. So people, tune in live again next week. We're having a dental surgeon here on Prezzifitness Live. I mean, just tune in. Every week we have different person talking about different stuff. So it's all surrounding our wealth and healthness. You know, December period come people like eat, wally eat and all them stuff. You guys need to know these things. I mean, so it's a pleasure having you, Sir Henry, and have a good day, sir.
Yes, King. All right, much respect. Before I go, still, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to, speak to the people and You know, just to vibe and connect with an old friend. So, much respect, King. All the best for Prezzifitness, and I know there'll be great things for 2021.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.